The news arrived on a day like any other. Daniel Avery, a young man of simple means, received a letter that would change his life forever. It informed him of the passing of a distant relative he barely knew. Along with condolences came a most unexpected revelation. Daniel was now the sole heir to Ashbury House. The name sent a shiver down his spine. He had heard whispers of Ashbury House, a grand manor shrouded in unsettling rumours. It was said to be a place of shadows and sorrow, untouched and uninhabited for decades. Curiosity warred with apprehension within him. What secrets awaited him in that desolate place? Despite his reservations, Daniel felt a pull towards the mysterious Ashbury House. He was drawn to it, compelled by a force he couldn't quite comprehend. He packed a small bag, his mind a whirlwind of anticipation and unease. This inheritance was more than just an unexpected fortune. It was a key to a past he never knew existed. Little did he know this inheritance was not a blessing. It was a curse, passed down through generations, and Daniel was now bound to it. The journey was long and arduous. Daniel travelled by train, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels doing little to ease his growing anxiety. As he further distanced himself from the familiar, the landscape outside his window grew increasingly bleak and unforgiving. Finally, as the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the countryside, the train pulled into a deserted station. A single rusty signpost stood as a solitary sentinel, its faded letters proclaiming Ashbury. The air grew colder, the silence heavy with unspoken secrets. A rickety carriage awaited him, driven by a gaunt man with haunted eyes who spoke little. The road to Ashbury House was swallowed by dense, gnarled trees, their branches twisting like skeletal fingers reaching out to claim him. Daniel felt a growing sense of foreboding, as if he were being watched, judged by unseen eyes. He could feel it now, the oppressive weight of Ashbury House settling upon him like a shroud. He was nearing his destination, and with each passing moment the tendrils of dread tightened their grip on his heart. As the carriage rumbled to a halt before the imposing iron gates of Ashbury House, Daniel drew a sharp breath. The mansion loomed before him, a Gothic behemoth silhouetted against the dying light. Its stone facade was weathered and cracked, stained with the passage of time and shrouded in an unnatural stillness. The driver deposited Daniel and his meagre belongings at the foot of the grand staircase leading to the imposing front door. With a curt nod, he turned the carriage around and retreated back down the drive, leaving Daniel alone in the deepening twilight. Silence descended, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the mournful cry of a distant owl. Gathering his courage, Daniel mounted the steps. Each footfall echoed in the stillness, amplifying the sense of unease that clung to him like a second skin. He reached the massive oak door, its surface cold and unyielding beneath his touch. As he pushed it open, a low groan echoed from within, as if the house itself were drawing a weary breath after years of silence. Days turned into nights as Daniel explored the labyrinthine corridors and dusty rooms of Ashbury House. He uncovered forgotten portraits with eyes that seemed to follow his every move, their painted lips twisted into silent screams. The air hung heavy with the weight of the past, a suffocating reminder of lives lived and lost within these walls. One afternoon, while exploring the dusty attic, Daniel stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a tapestry. Inside, cobwebs clung to every surface, and the air was thick with the smell of decay. A single ray of sunlight pierced the gloom, illuminating a massive oak desk piled high with yellowed parchment and leather-bound books. As he sifted through the forgotten belongings, his fingers brushed against a small, ornate diary, its leather cover cold and slightly damp. Drawn to it, he carefully lifted it from its resting place. Its pages, brittle with age, whispered a tale of forbidden rituals and a pact made with a being from beyond the veil. It spoke of a midnight inheritance, a curse that had haunted his ancestors for generations.